Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the Infinity Futures Daily Trading video. My name is Raleigh White, and I'm here to talk to you about the trades we took in our live trading room on Monday, November 3rd, 2014. Well, looking at today's calendar, we can see that there were a few things that we needed to be aware of. At 8:45, we had the release of the final manufacturing PMI data, which came out a little bit lower than expected at 55.9 versus an estimate of 56.1. Then at 9 o'clock, we had the official ISM manufacturing PMI data being released, which came out higher than expected with a value of 59.0 versus an estimate of 56.5. This is one of those indexes where anything above 50 indicates manufacturing expansion. Anything below 50 would be manufacturing contraction. Then at 11:40 today, we had FOMC member Fisher speaking, and then throughout the day, we had the release of total vehicle sales in North America from the major automotive companies. As far as today's pre-market sentiment was concerned, things were fairly mixed coming into the open. Now, the Asian markets had closed mixed on China economic data. Now, we did see that there were some upbeat China manufacturing PMI data that came out, but that report was offset by a slowdown in the Chinese services sector. We saw the best performing market in Asia was the Shanghai market. It closed up 0.4 of a point at 20-month highs on gains in the shipbuilding and the automotive sectors. On the flip side, though, we saw that the Korean Kospi was down 0.6 of a point on a weak October manufacturing report, and Australia was down 0.4 of a point on a slip in the retail sector. Also want to notify you that the Japanese markets were closed today for public holidays. As far as the European markets are concerned, they are open but trending lower on a disappointing factory report. Now, the shares in Europe were trading lower after the Eurozone manufacturing data shows slowing factory activity. We did see on the corporate front that Ryanair beat its estimates, but Publicis and HSBC had both sliding on merger and acquisition activities with Publicis and on a currency fraud probe at HSBC. We also saw over the weekend that German Chancellor Merkel is supporting the United Kingdom leaving the European Union rather than compromise on free movement of workers. And this is just another wedge that appears to be growing in the United Kingdom's involvement in the European Union. As far as the United States is concerned, Wall Street did figure to open up mixed after Friday's record rally. Now, the futures indexes were kind of flat coming into the open following the mixed global market performance and on the weak PMI data, especially out of China and Europe. Now, we do know that there are fresh corporate earnings that are due out in the United States this week, and the focus today would be on AIG, Sprint, and Herbalife, were all scheduled to report after the closing bell. Now, the focus for many U.S. investors today would be on the ISM manufacturing PMI report scheduled for release at 9 o'clock, and then on the key monthly labor reports that are due out on Wednesday and Friday of this week. Now, as far as my trading activity is concerned, I attempted 9 entries in the market. I had 2 fills in the E-mini Dow and the E-mini S&P 500 markets. But before looking at those trades in any detail, I do need to remind everyone of this following important disclaimer. And that is that trading futures involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources, as you may lose all or more of your initial investment. And always remember that past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Well, turning to the charts, let's begin with the 30-year bond market. And you can see here about in the middle of the trading session today, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 bars moving lower, followed by 1 bar retracing. And I was hoping that this second bar was going to retrace and give me a 2-bar pullback entry just below the main pivot point at 141.1. But we can see the market fell away from me, and I had to take this trade out of the market. I also saw an opportunity in the crude oil market, and we can see here towards the end of the trading session we had exactly 1, 2 bars moving lower, followed by 1 bar retracing, and I was hoping this second bar was going to retrace and give me a 2-bar pullback entry at 80.32, just below the Bollinger Band, but the market just kind of chopped sideways into the afternoon here, and so I had to take this trade off. I then took a look at the E-mini Dow market, and the E-mini Dow market gave me 3 opportunities today. The first one was right here at the open of the trading session. You can see we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars moving higher, followed by 1 bar retracing and a second bar retracing, and this gave me a long entry at 17,304, and I was risking 8 ticks to make 8 ticks on this trade. Well, I got this fill, and this market moved almost immediately 7 ticks against me, almost to the point where it knocked me out. When that happened, I decided to go ahead and move my profit target to break even, and as the market came back within a tick or two of break even, I also tightened up my stop loss on this one to 5 ticks, and when you know it, the market came back, knocked me out for a 5 tick loss before moving into the break even point right here. So this cost me 5 ticks, or $25 per contract traded. Now, staying with the E-mini Dow, you can see that we had 1, 2 bars moving lower, followed by 1 bar retracing, and I was hoping the second bar was going to retrace and give me a 2 bar pullback just below the upper Bollinger Band at 173.22, but the market only took a few ticks in my direction and fell away, and I had to take this trade off. Then at the end of the trading session here, you can see we had 1, 2 bars moving higher, followed by 1 bar retracing. We had the second bar retrace, and I was looking for a long entry here at 72.72, but I did not get my fill. The market moved away from me, and I needed to take this trade out of the market. I also saw some opportunities in the E-mini S&P 500 market. And looking at this market, we can see here right at the open of the trading session, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars moving higher, followed by 1 bar retracing, and I was hoping this second bar was going to retrace and give me a long entry at 2011 and a half, but it never came to me, and I had to take this trade out of the market. Now, staying with the E-mini S&P 500, you can see we had 1, 2 bars moving lower, followed by 1 bar retracing and a second bar retracing. I was actually looking for a short entry here at 2014.75, but I ended up taking this out of the market because we were coming close to the release of the ISM manufacturing PMI data at 9 o'clock, and when that happened, I didn't want to be in the markets around the release of that report, because you can see how it bounced after the report came out, so I had to take this trade off. Now, staying with the E-mini S&P after the release of the ISM manufacturing data, we had 1, 2 bars moving higher, followed by 1 bar retracing and a second bar retracing. This gave me a long entry at 2011 3/4, just above the lower Bollinger Band. I got my fill. The market came 2 ticks against me and then moved into and through my profit target, so I was able to pick up 4 ticks on this, which was worth $50. So, just to recap here, I ended the day with 9 attempts in the market. I had 2 fills, 1 small losing trade in the E-mini Dow, 1 winning trade in the E-mini S&P, and I closed my trading session up $25 per contract traded, looking forward to seeing what kind of opportunities might present themselves tomorrow. Well, looking at tomorrow's economic calendar, you can see there are a few things that we need to be aware of. At 7:30, we have the release of trade balance information, and then at 9 o'clock, or about a half hour after the market opens up, we have the release of factory orders. And in the United States, throughout the day, there will be results from the congressional elections that are going on. We're calling these the midterm elections, and there's always the possibility that news flow from this could impact the markets. So with that, I want to thank everybody for watching today's daily video. I wish you a pleasant evening, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. Take care, and good night.